you're caught off guard. So it's very, very important that we ourselves as parents, our guardians, know all these skills and be able to teach our children. Sometimes, before you're calling in the authorities, before we are asking for policies to be implemented and to work, the harm has already been done. That child's innocence can never be brought back, no matter how you punish anybody. Not to say that they shouldn't be punished. In fact, I don't want to say what should be done to them on air. I have somebody I haven't met in ages. Hey, Mama Kathy. Mama Kathy, where have you been? Good morning. Mama Kathy, please, I've opened your microphone.
Edem, it's so good to see you. I've missed you.
I know. I miss you too. How are you?
I'm good.
It's been a while.
Quite a while.
So Mama Kathy is Reverend Mrs. Catherine. Today I saw another one, Emmanuel.
It has always been there. You didn't notice.
I didn't notice. Onyodio Kit. She is the founder of Family Renaissance International. And I mean, Mama Kathy really needs no introduction, but it's really good to have you. Yesterday when I saw your picture, I was asking, hey, is this Mama Kathy? Mama Kathy, you are aging backwards.
Oh, my father. I think that's what you have been praying for.
You have to teach us the secrets.
But I'm surprised you are equally aging backwards.
I don't know how you do it, but I mean, you look very good.
Thank you, Edem. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to you. Whatever it is that you are doing, please write a book. We want to read.
Amen.
Amen.
I receive grace.
I also have with me Miss Audrey Quay. She's the creative head of Innova DB, right? DDB, okay. And lead of Call Them Out campaign. So that's the reason we are having this conversation. There's a team that have come together and embarking on a campaign called Call Them Out, and she is the lead of that campaign. So we're going to be talking about their works, their findings, and like I said, most importantly, what do we do to keep our children safe? And then we have Dr. Phil Emil Ukwe-Dowona, specialist psychiatrist with West Africa College of Physicians, Ghana College of Physicians, and Surgeons. Hi, Doc. Good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning as well.
Great. When I saw your photo, I was thinking that, okay, this one is photo. Maybe he's you're very young.
Thank you.
Okay, good to see all of you. And Audrey. So we're getting into the conversation now, and I want to start with you, Audrey, to find out. Say that again. Yeah, your microphone is on. Say hello.
Hi. Hello.
Great, we can hear you loud and clear. Okay. Call Them Out. How did it start? What birthed it?
Okay, so I would like to go back a bit and talk about Innova DDB. So Innova DDB is a marketing communications agency, and we believe that creativity has the power to move. And so we do not just use this creativity to build brands and, sell products, but we also believe in using creativity for societal good, which is why we are picking up this initiative, because this is one of the issues that familial sexual abuse.
So this is actually an initiative by Innova DDB?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And we are partnering with Mama Kathy and her team and other experts to shine a light on this issue of familial sexual abuse. And we realize that this is really becoming normalized in our society, and we need to speak up. So this is one of the ways we use creativity to have some of the difficult conversations. And because we are not the technical people, we have, assembled a group of experts, Mama Kathy and her team being part of it, and then other people on board to push this message, because it's something that needs serious attention. and has been, sidelined for a long time and is even becoming very normalized. So, Call Them Out is a campaign to raise awareness on this familial sexual abuse. And someone may wonder what familial sexual abuse is. I know we are all aware of what sexual abuse is, but this is within the family context or in the context of children and people that they have close relationships with, like teachers, neighbors, family friends. Yes,
Uncles,
uncles,
drivers,
bad uncles, bad aunties,
sometimes fathers,
sometimes fathers.
house helps.
It's really disheartening. So we want to, use this platform to shine a light on this, and more importantly, to connect victims to the right tools and support, because you can't just, trigger this conversation and leave
I
it hanging.
agree with you.
Yes. So back in the day, we've seen, we've seen a bit of campaigns around sexual abuse, and most of the time, the onus is on the children. It's like, you guys have to speak out. You guys have to, be bold and, call it out. But our campaign flips this script, and it's actually calling out everyone else, because there's this culture of silence where, kids are not afraid to speak up. They speak up. But we all know what happens to these voices because of the culture of silence and secrecy that, we have as a culture. Ghanaians, like, it's okay, like, don't worry about it. Chale, fama nyame, efe noko, it goes on, and it's about time. So we are calling everyone out. We are asking society to be accountable and to play their roles as protectors of kids, and also stop siding with the abusers. Because with this campaign, we are trying to say that silence makes you complicit. So
Yeah.
if you see something, you do something, and you say something. So basically, this is what Call Them Out is about.
Great. Mama Kathy, before I come to you, let me ask Doc, just briefly, why is this very important?
Okay, thank you very much. And I really like the things Audrey said, because it's a great initiative, actually.
Yeah.
Um, we understand that people actually are aware about sexual abuse and child abuse in general. But awareness doesn't necessarily mean action in a lot of situations, actually. And when it comes to this, we find out that the family stand more with loyalty than actually the health of the child. And when a child is abused, you are literally affecting the trajectory of that child's life. And there are so many factors that play out that can affect this child's mental health and even physical well-being as a whole. What happens is that when children go through these things, especially repeatedly, even once, it can actually affect their future. And maybe as we continue with this discussion, we'll go into some of the areas where we actually do see that previous childhood experiences have caused certain mental health challenges, which people are experiencing now. And it's really, really great to see people coming on board to help bring this out, because it is a challenge.
Great. Mama Kathy, what will your initial comments be before we go into the findings?
Yeah, I'll add my voice. Thank you very much, Edem. I'll really add my voice. I think it's a welcome idea, because when you look at adult, what you see is an adult, but childhood wounds is one of those things that truly destroys a person. It doesn't just stop at the person, it destroys homes, destroys the society. So it's an initiative that when I was informed about it, I threw my all into it, because um, childhood sexual abuses are real, and most times it happens with trusted people, and the culture of silence hasn't helped it. I believe that if we bring this to the fore, like we are doing now, there are a few people that when they know they'll be called out, they will put themselves in order. And so it's high time we begin to do something about it, and not leave people to die in silence and then blame the outcome when you do not even know their stories. Because at the end of the day, most of the people we are crying about, they are loud, they are this, they are that, is the aftermath of what they went through during childhood. So how do we create awareness? So we help parents to know the safeguards to put in place. And how do we help children to come to a place where they can say no without any repercussions? So I think, Edem, it's a very brilliant initiative. I know it's always been there. And let me shock you. I think just before I got to bed yesterday night, something came on my timeline. And it was the story of a 10-year-old who had lost a father and was living with their grandma. And not knowing that the child was consistently abused. The auntie came from the city and saw the condition of the child wasn't too good, so took the child back. But discovered that the child was not really acting like a child. There were a lot of emotional trauma she believed must have been going on. So she took the child to the hospital. And the doctor said the child had been immensely sexually active. And they did the survey. The lady asked how many people. Said 10 adults had been having sex, because the doctor said the sexual encounter with this child appears to have been happening every day. And she's 10. And she called out 10 adults, including the uncle, who had been constantly having sex with her almost every day. So what future do we have for such a child? And these are the mothers tomorrow, the wives tomorrow, and all of that tomorrow. So it's high time we put our feet down and decide on something. I know that as we converse, I think a lot of other things will come up, but it's time that we throw the searchlight into that area, because it's really real. It's really real. And not many people, if you were to go into statistics, would not have passed through this one way or the other. Because sexual abuse is not just physical, fondling, touching, and all of those things that actually distorts the mind of a child.
Yeah. Sometimes you just wonder. All right, we're live. This is Home Affairs on Joy 99.7 FM. You know, I get very emotional, and I get a bit destabilized when we have conversations and it's about children suffering. I mean, for kids, for me, they're just supposed to be happy. you know, they're supposed to be taken care of. They're supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be loved and not made to suffer. And yet you have adults who subject children. These days, even boys. I heard a story recently about a boy who would come back from school and was distraught. The parents tried to ask him what's wrong. He won't say what's wrong. I'm okay. But they noticed that their child is not, a young boy, I think 11, boarding school, won't say what's wrong with him. And I heard the father one night was praying and heard this boy crying in his room. And that's when he decided to talk. He had been sodomized and made to say that if you open your mouth, you come back to school, we'll kill you. And he's been traumatized, can't talk about it. A boy as young as 11 won't eat, wake up at night to sit and just cry. Why? Doc, I want to believe that most of these people are not correct upstairs, right?
So
No,
when you say these
have,
people,
you should have a certain mental, disorder to want to do this to a child. That's what I am saying.
okay, I get you. Well, you could say that, but sometimes the desires of
They're just
the human the human being cannot be understood. There's something that as you were talking about this, it just made me recollect something you actually mentioned. That's Audrey, concerning that you are focused on the familial ones actually.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to put this out there that there's this myth that usually sexual abuse is mainly done by the strangers or people they don't know. But surprisingly enough, it's actually more common among the family members.
Yeah.
And the second point why I actually remembered this was the second thing that people believe that the child is lying usually when they are talking about things like this. You were mentioning this boy who it was difficult for him to talk. He was going through it, and sometimes you see the children usually don't know or can't understand much of what is going on, and that's just because of brain development.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's easier to lure them into such acts and threaten them to keep quiet. However, usually when a child talks about sexual abuse, more often than not, it's really happening.
They're not lying. Why would they concoct a thing like that?
Exactly. It's really happening. So the onus is on the parents, on the family, to actually take action and do whatever they can to relieve this child of this immense stressful period or situation that they are in. And you mentioned some signs. Sometimes they may not come in or telling mommy, oh, this happened, this person touched me, and that depends really on the bond you have and how open you have made that child feel. Does the child feel like your best friend to be able to talk to you about any situation? you know how have you trained that child to open up concerning certain things? Have you spoken to that child about even what this part is? I remember, I think my brother, when I think with his firstborn also, he told him that this one is called your life. Protect your life. Don't let anybody see your life. So with that understanding, if like you see him walking naked and you have seen him there, you say, hey, don't look at my life, something like that. And that, even with this little thing, draws the attention that this is a no-go area. So what are we really doing as parents in this? I think Audrey wants to say something.
Yeah, so Audrey, I'm bringing you in here.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to say, but after you've said what you want to say, I want to find out. There's a campaign you're running. I know some research has gone into it. We know the issues. We've heard about a lot of them. Some have been documented, some haven't. We've heard a lot in conversations. People confide in us and all. But I also want to find out, what have you uncovered while at this campaign? But then, of course, you can make your comments.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that sometimes family members know. It's just a matter of protecting the abuser's reputation, which is why our campaign is calling everyone out, basically. So it's not just to say call out the abuser, we are calling out society. We are having these difficult conversations. Like, you see it, but you turn a blind eye. And that is why we are doing this campaign and calling out, society as well. We are calling out aunties, uncles, mothers, fathers,
Neighbors.
Neighbors, teachers.
People who
We are calling out people that we have entrusted our kids to. So basically, that's what our campaign is doing. And Edem, you said, what have we uncovered? So we just launched on Thursday.
Okay.
We had an event as Accra High, and really this is something that we have been thinking about for quite some time now. There's some technical bits to it, there's some research on it, and the stats are staggering. And even aside the research that we have done, if you are online, you would see that people are starting to talk about this. People are starting to get angry, and a lot of traction. This conversation is gathering a lot of momentum online, and so that is our way of also amplifying this. I have some facts here. I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm just going to read it off my phone. The stats are just unbelievable. They are heartbreaking, and we know that the majority of this is really against females. And it starts from UNICEF. So in 2017 to 2018, UNICEF Situation of Adolescents in Ghana reports 1 in 5 girls reported issues of sexual violence within the past 12 months, including rape and sexual coercion. That is wild. That is a wild. That is wild. That's a wild number.
That's heart wrenching.
It is. And this campaign
Wow.
also is not biased in talking about who the victims are. We are
Yeah.
also shedding a light on the boy child as well. And there is one which also says that there are 53.8% male survivors of defilement.
Mm-mm.
And it could really be anybody. We don't just have bad uncles, we also have bad aunties.
Of course.
So really, this is based on some technical research and also
Yes.
a reflection of what the society has become and how angry everyone is becoming. So we are kind of platforming this issue and giving it legs and also connecting these victims to real life support, giving them the right tools. And I will maybe at the end of the interview, I will point them directly to where they can, access tangible help if you have been abused or you have come you have seen abuse or someone that has been abused that needs help or rehabilitation. So maybe at the end I will just talk about that. I'll talk about where to find help with the call them out campaign.
1 in 5 girls.
One in five girls.
That's what is reported.
That's
One in five girls.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Mama Kati, from the family point of view. Now we know. I mean, we know what it is. I mentioned earlier. It's not like this is new or we're hearing about it for the first time. We all come from homes, and we know that the problem starts from the home, to the extent that the people we are acting to protect the children are even the ones hurting and harming them. And let's bring the conversation home to find out from you, Mama Kathy, because you have done a lot of work with families, with homes. Where are the gaps?
Over trusting.
Okay.
Over trusting people because of biological relationships they have. And I will take it back a little bit. A wounded person will wound another person. Most of the times, the people who carry out these dastard activities are people who themselves were wounded. They were abused. They were broken. They didn't seek for help. And now they are also taking advantage of the younger generation because they haven't themselves been healed. Doctor mentioned something. Adverse childhood experiences. It spells out in different ways. And so when we come back to the home, people sometimes also, let me even veer a little bit, people marry for the wrong reasons. And when you marry for the wrong reasons, you expose the people you bring into the world as a result of your marriage, and you are not sensitive and discerning enough to put boundaries that protect your family members. Number two, there are also families who do not know the import of creating strong bonds with the children so they can confide in you. And so at the end of the day, the children don't feel safe. Sorry. They don't feel safe with their parents or their guardians. Sorry. And so we're going back to looking critically at the family unit and letting the family unit understand that the reason why that structure was put together by God was because he knew that there were going to be invaders who were going to be members of the same family. And so the high time is now that parents build bond with their children, protect their children, and then start self-talk, self-awareness conversations with the children very early. Because a broken family will always allow rooms for children to be broken. And then when you overtrust human beings, it becomes very deadly. And at the end of the day, like the stats have said, those are reported statistics. There are still some that haven't spoken about it because of the reputation of the families. So we must go back to healing families. We must go back to looking into the structure of the family, helping families heal, helping families know the consequences of turning blind eyes on children. And one thing comes to my mind strongly now. You see, raising a child like we were raised in our times is very disastrous. Don't talk. Don't. When you shout down on a child in a world that is totally, completely corrupted, it becomes very difficult for the child to trust you with information of what is going on there. So we've got to go back to building friendship, building bonds, building connections, listening more to children, destroying the silence culture, standing up against this culture of silence, because if we keep doing this, we may see children being broken. But a child today is the adult tomorrow. And a broken child will end up being a broken adult. So families have to come back and realize that the onus lies on us as family members to create safe space for children to live in, and then to also make them feel safe, and then suspect everybody. Suspect everybody. So everybody, put them under surveillance. If possible, if you have the ability, put cameras in the homes. Interact. And let me shock you, because there was a time a mother I learned went to work and came back and met the two children, the brother and the sister, having an affair. Met them in the act. So even sibling relationship, if you haven't done a good job, you've got to protect the boys from the girls, because of the influence of the media, influence of television, influence of online pornographic images, the luring that happens and the exposure that happens. Even the school system, the school, what do you call it now? Even the school atmosphere, sometimes the children, they come and share certain things and lure their classmates. So it's not only the family, but I think emphasis and honor should really be placed on families, that we begin to do things that protect children, and making sure that we build communities that are strong enough to help us protect our children from being abused and being destroyed.
Great. So I was asking Mama Kati where some of the gaps are. And she talked about, first she mentioned, without blinking, over trusting. Sometimes we just trust people too much. Oh, this person is an uncle. I've known them for so long. They've been around. And so you think that your child is protected with them, and you leave your child with them. Some of these people, yes, they have been around, but they may be the same people who will end up. And because you trust them, you will never think that they will put up such an act. And even if you hear it, you will doubt it. And you know what's interesting? These things are so difficult to talk about. Even if a neighbor mentions to you that, this is your brother or this is your cousin, the way I've seen probably your child sitting on him and blah, 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 and things like that, you will end up thinking that this neighbor is trying to destroy your family, because this is a person you have known for so long. So that overtrusting is a very strong one. It makes it so difficult for you to see past anything else apart from you trusting them. And that's a very strong point, Mama Kati, you've made over there.
Edem, let me add something, just as you mentioned that. You see, I went somewhere and I noticed a young girl. She was about 10 years. I noticed something about her. She was so inclined to wanting to play with every male figure that she saw. So I told the mother, watch, please, so that this child will not be abused. And I discovered that it was from a single parent home. Opposite sex children have the tendency of wanting the opposite figure who represents who they are lacking. And so if you are raising, let's say, assume you are a single mother, you are raising a child alone, raising a daughter alone, watch that child and prayerfully trust God to give a father figure to that child, and warn the child that not every person will stand in for the father. Because most times, because of their vulnerability, because of the trust they have as little children, that the daddy they don't see often can be represented in any other man that mommy is close to.
True.
They take advantage of them. So we've got to be very careful, protecting hedges, raising hedges that protect these children from looking for what they are losing from the wrong people.
Great. And then there was the bit about adverse childhood experiences. They say hurt people hurt people. So once you're hurt, when you're hurting somebody, of course I am hurt. So what's the big deal if I'm hurting you? And so when people have adverse childhood experiences, sometimes they tend, and if it becomes traumatic and you don't have help, you don't heal from them, you end up doing the same thing to people. And then boundaries. teaching our children to have boundaries, even we ourselves as adults. What boundaries do we even exhibit for our children to see? That's another critical one. And then I love this one. And this places everything at the doorstep of parents. Um, Building strong bonds with your children. Are you bonded with them such that they are able to come to you and tell you everything, no matter how difficult, no matter how hard? If you haven't done that, we've said that a million times on Home Affairs. In fact, that's what this show is about. So if you're not doing that, then you have a challenge. And then I love this one. Suspect everybody. Place everybody under surveillance. If you do that, then it means that you're not over trusting. That's what will mitigate the first point. If you are suspecting everybody, you could be, a suspect. And so, yes, I will trust you, but I will sleep with one eye opened, so that just in case of anything, I can see, and then it's missing. So these are really very important points. Audrey, do you have a few more to add? Then I will come to Doc and ask Doc, okay, we know these things. Again, let's be honest with ourselves. Parents will have to be out there to work. These children, we will definitely find guardians for them. You will leave them in the care of somebody at some point, somehow. You won't be able to go everywhere with them. You won't be able to keep an eye on them 24/7, 365. You won't be able to do that. Having established this, Doc, after Audrey, I'm going to be asking you. So, what do we do? Or how do we begin to see if something is going wrong? Because like I said, it's unrealistic to say that every single minute throughout the year, we are the ones taking care of our children. It's not possible. Yes, Audrey.
Yes, so Edem, so it's because we are a communal society. Definitely, we raise our kids with, everyone else who is available. And that is why, as part of this campaign, we are providing some resources. So for Innova DDB, our website, which is innovaddb.com, we have a dedicated landing page with resources. People can visit the page. We have, different resources of information there to speak to children, to speak to teachers, guardians, and parents on how to recognize the warning signs, how to see the red flags. And then, sometimes people, confide in adults, but they don't know how to handle it. So there's also information there on how to handle some of these disclosures. I would share it with you, so maybe you can put it on the screen later. And we have also a dedicated call line, hotline that people can call for real-time support. So we have resources on our landing page. There's a Call Them Out landing page. Emmanuel, I think we can share that with them later, and then the number to call. So we are, doing everything that we can to provide like a first point of contact for people that need help. So we'll point them in the right direction. So that's why we have Mama Kathy and her team on the back end to actually deal with some of these issues. And so if it's a victim on counseling and therapy, if it's somebody that has seen something on how they can escalate the situation and all that. So we are also working on getting some legal help at the back and some help from the security services, because some of these things are criminal. Yeah, if we're being honest, they are criminal offenses. So we have resources dedicated to that with this campaign on our landing page.
Great.
Yeah.
I have some messages on my. So let me try and take a few of them. This one says, "Oh dear Lord, come back here." Edem, this subject matter. I'm a 36-year-old, and when I hear this discussion, I'm extremely sad. I have been sexually abused by my biological sister some years back when I was in class 1 or 2. My mom was then a trader. My sister was the one taking care of me while my mom was away. She will call me to her room and have sex with me. even though I am old now, married with kids, two girls and a boy, when I hear discussions on this topic, I always feel bad about it. Because of this experience, I always protect my children. When I remember, I feel pain and I feel a lot of pain. You will, Kweku. So, where's your sister? What has become of the relationship between you and her in your adult lives? Have you people been able to talk about it? How have you both healed? It would be good to know, it would be good to know. But I, were we empathize with you on what you went through and how it still makes you feel even after you have grown, gotten married and have your children. Nobody should go through such, honestly. Edem and your guest, the unfortunate thing is that most of these sexual abusers who happen to be men have very poor upbringing, which affect their character formation. As a teacher who has been teaching for many years, I have come across other colleague teachers who relate very badly with female students. In fact, in some schools where management is very serious in tackling this issue head on, teachers are allowed to relate. Teachers are not allowed to relate to any student of the opposite sex outside the classroom. Also, in this day and age, some of the students themselves are influenced by social media content. Finally, parents must make time with their children and develop a relationship with them in such a way that these children would be able to open up to them on issues of sexuality. This is from Prosper. Prosper, thank you for this message. We appreciate the insights you shared. Okay, Doc.
Yes.
Yes, Doc.
Yes. So I think you asked about
I was asking about the warning signs.
oh, okay.
Yes,
Yes.
that I mentioned,
Mhm.
and the background to that is we won't be able to take. I mean, Mama Kathy has said, let's build strong bonds with our children. Let's respect everybody. Let's ensure that we're not over trusting. Of course, people have adverse childhood experiences that could impact, for lack of the irresponsible adults they have become. And we building great bonds and strong bonds with our children. But I'm saying that all this hurt, however, 247, we're unable to stay with our children. We'll die of hunger. You know what I mean? You have to still go out there and work and take care of the children. If you need to protect them to a large extent, even if you want to live in a house where you have an electric fence wall, you won't sit down and do, and then it will appear. You will have to leave them at some point to go and work and be able to cater to them and fend for them. Now, you will have to leave them with somebody. You're dropping them in school, sometimes as little as 3 months. You're dropping them off in school because you have to be on the go. You're probably getting a nanny to stay with them at home because you have to necessarily be out there. You're inviting an auntie, a distant family member, or someone just shared
The story.
about their own blood sister.
Yeah.
So these things they will have to happen somehow. But how do you know, as a parent who is out there, you come back home, are there things you are able to see on your child? Are there behaviors that your child will put up that will make you be able to tell that probably this child is going through some form of abuse or trauma or something, from your point of view as a psychiatrist?
Okay. So, yeah, I know we are talking about sexual abuse. However, I just want to, with your question, touch on the fact that there's physical abuse, there's emotional abuse, and all that, you know.
Yeah.
So, usually, with that situation comes like risk factors, you know. If you realize that a child is neglected, child neglect is abuse, you know. So, when I'm talking in terms of, let's say, an outsider first, okay, a neighbor, a family member, you see that this child is always complaining of something, food is not eating or something, always hungry. You realize that there could be some neglect ongoing. That calls for concern. If you see hidden injuries, or um, some inappropriate behavior in terms of maybe easily irritable and stuff like that, it could tell. It could be a tell. Now, to talk about parents who have children and want to know the signs, usually, when it comes to sexual abuse, you'd notice inappropriate sexual behavior, or it's not like it's not a fixed path per se.
Okay, so for instance, when you say inappropriate sexual behavior, what are you looking out for?
So for their age, like what Mommy spoke about, small children touching each other, and it could be social media or could be from experience. You know, so when you notice that a 3-year-old touching herself or himself, or maybe if the teachers they ask you to draw a picture and it looks suggestive, like sexually there's some sexual content in there, that calls for concern. Sometimes you may realize that the child has changed in his or her behavior. Somebody who is probably loud running about is now quiet. Somebody who is quiet is now irritable. Poor academic performance, they are doing very well in school. You realize that for some reason their grades just drop. You cannot explain. They are not communicating in class. They are not doing assignments. They seem to be this poor concentration. And when you notice all these things, they are minimal, but when you notice a change in behavior, if I'll generalize it, so any change in behavior is something that you should actually be alert about, because it could be that there's been really a change in the circumstance around that child, and that is something that when you investigate, you can notice that something is probably happening.
Okay. Could they be expressing pain as well?
Exactly. So they could be. They can actually have pain. You notice the child is complain of pain in the genital area, but that's more overt. Because when you actually see that, you notice, why is she complaining of pain in that area? So some of these things all point to or suggest to sexual abuse.
How about a child? Because I've seen that before. Refusing. When mommy or daddy is around, they just don't want to go close to auntie or uncle.
It could be that, or they'll actually rather go to auntie or uncle because they believe that, it depends on the age and what the child understands at what point in time.
No, I believe that in the case, I agree with you. But
both ways. But more often, they may stay away.
But whichever way, a child who is... the last time I heard that a 6-month-old child was defiled and the baby died in the process. Okay. Yeah, 6 months. So, I don't think 3 months up to about 10 years, a child who is being properly raised in a home will find anything enjoyable about sex. I could be wrong.
Well, it's not enjoyable. However, let's take the scenario. A 3-year-old, 2-year-old. As I said, they may not understand these things as well as you would. Adults do. If uncle or the family's best friend comes in and says that, oh, come, maybe let me touch you or something and give you toffee. Or don't you want your toffee? You see, it depends on what you really... I don't want the mind...
the child.
Yes, so I don't want you to fix your mind that it's only when, as mommy says, suspect everybody. Because indeed, it's not enjoyable. But at very tender ages, they don't know what is going on. They don't realize it as good. They don't realize it as bad. They are experiencing life as it is, trusting whoever that comes around them. That as mommy and daddy trust you, whatever you tell me is the way around it. It may not be pleasant or not, but who knows? That's probably the right thing to do, So I just want us to have that in perspective as we are looking at this as well.
Just stop it.
It's very challenging, I know.
Just stop it. You shouldn't do that to a child.
Yeah.
No matter what. You shouldn't. Like, you're a wicked person.
Yeah.
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 You see,
Yeah.
you're very wicked. You're a very wicked human being. Like, you're wicked. That's all I can say.
And I think the earlier question you asked me, you know, there are some mental health conditions as well. Well, now people are even fighting. I watched a video where pedophilia is being fought. People are saying, oh,
That's
it's
the-
like how, you know, homosexuality was initially a mental health condition, and then it was taken out later. Um, and in the same light, now the pedophiles are also pleading. There was a video going around there. They're also
Yeah.
pleading that in the same way the homosexuals can't help it.
They can't help it.
Exactly. They also
it's been
can't help it.
advocated.
You know, it's very
No, please don't talk
interesting
about
hearing
it.
things like that. Yes.
They are pushing that agenda seriously now.
Yes,
the
they
pedophiles.
are
They are
actually.
pushing it. That's how they were. Why they are created. So they
Exactly.
are equal.
Serious.
Yes,
Yes,
it's in on the
it's-
front burner now.
Yeah.
They are pushing it, and so it leaves us. If we don't do anything, leaves us to becoming how what is the word to use? A society that is completely set against itself to destruction. So let me add something to what Doc said. You saw the signs. Yes, Edem, there's so much going on. Human beings have lost it. I'm sorry to say it. And we are clapping hands for these people. And that's why I believe that this campaign came out at the right time. I just pray that people will come on board and let's push it. It's not a one-man agenda. It's something that every hand should be on deck to protect these children. Because, like I said, you destroy a child, you are destroying somebody's mother, future father. But some of the signs parents should look out for could be emotional. You realize depression, anxiety, panic. These children were not like that. And there's also the behavioral signs that you realize the person has anger tantrum now or withdraws and just stays silent, doesn't want to talk. And then there's the sexualized behavior. A child that was not like that begins to want to fondle. You realize that it's becoming sexualized. You watch the attitude. Or it could be physical. Physical could show in the way that the child now begins to act in ways and manners that child was not before. So there's a change. There's simply change in the behavior of that child. Either, to the extremes or midway, but some even bedweight.
Yeah.
Some even
Some
bedweight.
call that regression. Sometimes we'll regress into certain stages that they have actually overcome.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You can have that happening.
This is crazy.
There are so many signs. So I just want the
No.
public to know when you see a change in behavior, like that calls for concern. Yeah. When you are concerned or when you feel, hey, there's something happening, don't brush it off.
Yeah.
Like, investigate and find out nothing is happening rather than leave it and then realize there's something going
Charlie,
on.
you guys just stop it. Seriously, because I don't even know what to say, but you are not a good human being. And if you ask me, you don't even deserve to live. You're not a good human being to do that to a child. I mean, there are lots of adults you can have conversations with and you want to, who will consent to it? Why make children? And some die.
Yeah.
Because of your selfish desires. Some of these children, and their parents will necessarily have to go out there and look for money to fend for them. So what should you do? Strap them behind you and take the one that kills me cry is the fathers themselves and sometimes mothers who do these things to their children.
Yeah.
You have conversations. The last time there was somebody who was telling me about a challenge they're having with their wife because of, they're married, but don't touch me, don't do this, don't do that. And eventually, they've been married for some time. They decided to just go out and heal, only to find out that this lady was sexually abused for several years as a kid. And this is traumatizing her. So about 5 years into the marriage, it's so difficult for her to bring herself around. They don't even have a child because it's just too difficult. So now you have to start therapy all over again. it's just not fair to anybody. It's not fair. This is Home Affairs. We'll be right back. We have been talking about protecting our children from sexual abuse, and the conversation is heartbreaking. Let the children be children. Just allow them to grow. What joy and pleasure do you actually get in inflicting pain on children? Sodomizing young boys, young girls, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old children. Hey, just destroying the future of, children. Shame on all of you who do that. But want extra peace of mind for you and your family? Get more in it also from Glyco Life Insurance Plan that truly delivers. Enjoy free e-health services, a guaranteed death benefit for your loved ones, and a permanent disability benefit that supports you through life's unexpected challenges. It's simple, secure, and just a dial away. Dial star 756 hash now to sign up. Glyco, we cushion you for life. And are you tired of insurance claim headaches? Do you wish it could just be easy? Well, now it is very easy. Meet Claim Express from Enterprise Insurance. It is smart and stress-free. Just submit your insurance claims online, upload your documents, track progress, get updates, and receive your payments quickly. It's claims made simple. And because Enterprise Insurance is a trusted 101-year-old brand and rated AAA for financial strength by GCR South Africa, you can be sure your valid claims will always be paid on time. So whether it's motor, home travel or business insurance, visit myenterprisegroup.io or download the Enterprise Advantage app today. Claim Express by Enterprise Insurance. Submit, track, and get paid fast. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage. So whether you are in Accra for a short or prolonged period, or you just need a hideaway in the city for a staycation, the Ask Apartments is a fully furnished short stay facility just 15 minutes from Kotoka International Airport. And it has you covered. The Ask Apartments, with its luxurious furnished rooms with modern amenities for your comfort, is located in a quiet and safe neighborhood within East Airport off the Spinters Road near the Palace Mall. With several access routes to hit town without traffic or delay, you're never far from where the action is any time of the day. All our Ask Apartments come with high-end furnishing, soaring high ceilings, and exquisite decor. Our units are equipped with smart TVs so you don't miss your soaps and favorite TV shows and movies on Netflix. And our comfy royal beds, they will make you want to stay in bed longer. We love to provide you with spaces you will brag about. Experience the comfort we offer, whether it is our studio one bedroom, 2 bedrooms, or 4 bedroom units, furnished with highly luxurious great amenities. You can call or WhatsApp us on 0244-363092 or email reservations at askapartments.net or visit our website at askapartments.net or any of our social media handles and let us book a place for you. To get us, just search for Ask Apartments in your Google Maps. Ask Apartments, your home of divine comfort. So our conversation continues, and I'm coming to you, Audrey, now. So we know now, we have always known, I've mentioned it a million times, these things are preferred. We just haven't talked about it loudly in a while. But I'm happy that we're bringing it to the fore and Call Them Out is leading this campaign that we are all joining. It's important. Look, for as long as you're a human being, this is important. Even if you don't have a family yet, or you don't have your own children yet, you have nieces, you have nephews, you know somebody you care about, they have children. Look, it's important to all of us. So we all have to join in the campaign. We've looked at some of the gaps and why some of these things are happening. And we have also established the reality and saying that no matter what we do, 100% we can't stay with our children. And look, if we're also grooming them to become responsible adults, there are times that you will have to start releasing them gradually for them to be able to learn about life, socialize. And so you can't cage them, really. We can't cage them. We have to let them live. But if you are out there and you're this wicked human being out there, then we will have to strategize around you. And that's why there's the call them out. I'm happy Mama Kati and her team are on board. Doc, I'm sure you and your team,
We are always on board.
my team and I have just onboarded ourselves. You know,
That's good.
yeah. I just hate to hear that children are suffering. I see children unwell. It does something to me.
Yeah, it's
I ran a crèche
very
for
hard
over 10
conversation.
years,
Yeah.
you know, and we got a little child. That child, I think, was 5 at the time. And then another kid came to report the child that this one,
The 5-year-old.
yes, so another 5-year-old like that
Mm.
came to report that this other 5-year-old's been touching my wee wee.
Oh my.
And so I got into it, only to find out that someone has been touching her wee wee at home. That's how they call it. Someone's been touching her at home. Someone's been doing it to her at home.
Yeah.
And she was an innocent child. Okay,
Yeah.
she wasn't warned not to say it.
Yeah.
So she just
she
said
was
it.
just talking.
It's
Yeah.
auntie this has been doing
You have to encourage it
to
from
me.
early age. You know.
really. You ask her all the questions in her child's mind, everything she can say. She
will say
said
it's
it.
plain.
Yeah.
She said it. She just freed her mind. You know. Have you told mommy? No. Why? Nothing. Of course, mommy hasn't realized, paid attention.
Yeah.
There's no other child at home for her to do it to, for the child to report.
Yeah.
So in our case, it was just good that she was also doing it to somebody, and
Yeah.
then the person came to say that
Yeah.
this one is touching my
Yeah.
baby. You know, I mean, it was handled. The police was called into it and everything, and it was handled. And this child, we had to give the child to a child psychologist
Yeah.
to help the
Help,
child.
yeah.
Yes, you know. And I've had several of those issues.
Yeah.
Several. It was one of our guests here whose child just went to visit grandma, and then other cousins had come, and the vacation became a sex vacation
Wow.
because they are taking all
More
the
common
children.
than we think.
It's really,
don't
it's really
understand.
cool.
Yeah, they are
It's
taking
more
all the
common than
children
we
to
think.
go and visit grandma, and there were one or two of them who had experiences, so brought everybody else on
Indoctrinated.
board, and it was so heartbreaking.
What are you talking about?
There's another one. I mean, I can't. It's sad. This child, she unfortunately, I don't even know what has become of her now, because a cousin was, introduced her, and by age 12 had had 2 abortions, and she actually became excited about it. So and she became, what's the word, whenever she's not getting sex, then she has to masturbate, and she became addicted to masturbation. She went to the boarding school. She was expelled from the boarding school. That's how this girl
Yeah.
was damaged.
It's literally affects the trajectory of their lives.
Yeah, and everyone around them.
Yeah.
even.
She was expelled from school. It was only then her parents realized what she was going through. It was only then. And once parents get to know, they don't want the matter. They don't want anybody around the issue again. We'll handle it as a family matter. We'll handle it as a
I
family
mean,
matter.
that is why, in addition to, being vigilant as parents, we also have to equip our children with information.
Exactly.
Even from a tender age, you
Yeah.
need to teach them
Yeah.
body autonomy.
Yeah.
This is my life.
Exactly.
Don't touch it, So that is why we also have resources for this campaign, for this Call Them Out campaign on our landing page.
What's the next? What are you doing next?
So we are looking to go to other schools. So right now we are targeting the schools where we have a gathering of students, teachers, and some parents to talk to them about this, because you can't tackle it from just one end. So we want to make sure that we are giving everybody the right tools and the right ways to deal with this. So for students, body autonomy and how powerful their voices are in saying no to these things and threatening to report the abuser. And also for the parents, the signs to look out for, how to deal with some of these disclosures, and how they can access therapy for themselves and then the abused, children. So we have a wealth of information sitting on our platform. We'll share the details with you. There's a hotline to call. So for the schools, when we went there, we went to Accra High on Thursday, and they made very interesting submissions saying that sometimes, people don't believe them and they are scared to talk about it, and they are shy.
Real.
Yeah.
And that is why we have the QR code. So there's some, anonymity to this. So you call the hotline, you scan, or you go to the website, and then there's a hotline there you can call, and then we connect you to the right channels. So we have that, as a resource as well. But I think that as a society, we need to really, if you see something, say it.
Yeah.
Call them out. I think we are bold and we are making these abusers.
It's getting better.
Yes, we are making them very bold. And then there's, the uproar on social media as well. But how do we make that actionable?
No, when I say it's getting better, I think people are becoming
people
a lot
are getting more
angry.
Yes, people are getting more
are
angry.
reporting things, are
Yes.
talking about it. Yesterday there was I think there was a parent who was just giving the child a cigarette. I don't know if you saw that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Normal.
Yeah, no, and it went viral in a positive sense. Everybody was calling, the authorities into it. You can't introduce your child.
This is abuse.
That child is like what, like maybe less than 2.
No, they're usually they're a blank slate. So
And you're
whatever you
smoking.
tell them.
Very impressionable.
You're
at
smoking,
that
and the
age.
child
Yeah.
says is crying that I want some because of course I have seen you doing it, and then you hand it over to the child and said, "Shijotuno."
But there's
People called it out really, and I think it's gotten some attention.
Yeah.
And so I think we are becoming quite intentional
Yeah,
about
yeah,
this,
yeah.
and we just have to continue.
Yeah.
It's terrible, the things that are happening to children. Of course, social media and all the things around us is really not helping.
Yes,
You are
so,
saying
yeah.
is there are some people who are also saying that look, it's the surest way to becoming successful. It's just crazy.
But I want to touch on the health aspect of this. I don't know if we have.
Yeah, I mean, let me
Some time.
so we don't lose a lot of time.
Okay.
Okay.
Audrey, you've talked about the landing page. Are
Yeah.
there contacts, numbers? if
Yes.
those
So
who wanna
there's
call?
a hotline is dedicated to this. You can call, you can report. And so when you call, that's where Mama Kathy and her team come in, because they are the technical people. They have the right tools and channels to connect you to, if it's therapy, if it's the police, if it's legal services, they're going to redirect you to that. And this is also a call to everyone else. We are asking everyone to come on board this conversation. When you go online, you use the hashtag call them out. And anywhere you see the hashtag or call them out, you repost, you reshare, you do everything just so that we can amplify this conversation. This has to become a nationwide,
It's important.
campaign. It's very, very important. So we are calling everyone on board. And then do visit the landing page, because there's a lot of resources there you can download. We even have a song we will play later. We have a song to,
That's
kids
good.
learn
No,
through
we'll do
songs.
this
Yes,
again.
that song is
Yeah.
very, very good because that's
Yeah,
where
we
they'll
have
be
a
able
song.
to
It's quite
You
catchy.
to
should have-
stick.
You should
Yeah.
have told me about it earlier.
We
would
would
have
share
played
with
it.
your team
To
before we
stick.
leave here. Yes, we have that. So everyone,
the
we're
number?
calling everyone. We're calling everyone to get on board. Let me share.
05
Yeah, Mama Kathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
0501 28
99
99
49
49 0501 28 99
9949.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the number. Please put it down.
Yes, and
And
visit the landing page
as
at
well.
innovaddb.com.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you go to innovaddb.com, then what?
Then you would see a tab with call them out.
Right,
It's a
and-
dedicated page with resources to
Good.
download and share, and just to get more information on this.
Okay, great. Let me quickly. There's a message here that says, "This issue of sexual abuse is very worrying. The one now all over our schools, homes, churches, and neighborhoods. The issue is those who do this do not have the fear of God in them. That's true.
Yeah.
Edem, I have the story I want to share. Oh wow. there was this national service teacher friend of mine when I was in school. Since he's a man and we were boys at the time, he told us a story whilst in school. He was passing by the girls' dormitory and one student called him and offered him a drink. He drank it and later went to his place of residence on campus to sleep because he was feeling drowsy. He woke up tied down to his bed with 6 female students who have watched extreme porn for a while and practiced it on him. Everyone took turns on him. After that act, he was sent to the hospital and nearly died because of dehydration. It's not my story to tell. So let me end it here. The school did nothing, but as usual, we the boys knew this and kept it to ourselves. He died later. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah, wow.
You see, I want to talk about the health aspect.
Doc, I will let you have the final word in just a minute. But 13 runs were not enough. You asked for it and we've heard you. But by popular demand and in honor of Mauli Semevo, the stage is set and the magic is about to unfold one more time as Image Bureau, in partnership with April Communications and the National Theatre, bring back the spectacle that had audience raving. Olaru Timis, the gods are not to blame. Ever experienced the beauty of theatre on a weekday? Then get ready for a captivating start to our Christmas holidays with the much anticipated rerun of The Gods Are Not to Blame. Live at the National Theatre, Wednesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. Thursday, December 18th at 7 p.m. Friday, 19th with 2 shows that 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets are available now at 250 cedis for single and 400 for double, exclusively via imagebureau.com. You can also dial star 714 star 46 hash to grab yours. The gods are not to blame, supported by Knee Plants Car Rental, the Ghana Tourism Authority, Joy FM and Hits FM, and Joy Prime. Sponsors Stanbic Bank, Bills Microcredit, and proudly brought to you by MTN. Okay, Doc, I'll give you a minute.
Yeah. So shortly, I wanted to say that in all these things, as we call them out, I just want to announce to the public that if you know anybody who has gone through something like that, if the perpetrator is away or anything, I still want us to understand that this child's life matters, and therefore bring the person to therapy, let the person see a psychologist, a psychiatrist to get help. Because as much as we are focused on exposing, we have to understand that this child's life is moving towards a direction if help is not given. Right. So I just want us to understand that everybody that, if you sweep it under covers, the person doesn't get help, that life is destroyed. So immediately, if you know of anybody, bring the person for care. That's all I wanted
and
to
I
say.
got a response to the message. It actually backs what you're saying. It says, till date, I am unable to speak about it with anyone because no one will ever believe me. Then and even now that he is an adult. Remember the gentleman who sent us the message about his sister? I got to understand what she did to me was abuse when I went to SHS in 2006. My relationship with her is very normal. However, when she requests that my son visits her, I always turn it down because I think she's capable of doing same to my innocent son. This is really heartbreaking, but I am happy that you're protecting your child from this person, especially so as you haven't been able. Why does she think that you don't know or you don't remember what happened to you?
Later when they grow up, they understand. Maybe in the beginning they may
no,
not
I'm
know.
wondering
But
that the sister know. Is she thinking that the gentleman doesn't know what happened to him?
They
Why?
know what's happening, pa.
Mama Kathy, let me take your final words.
So I will say to every person listening to us, a child's safety is more important than anybody's reputation. Whatever we see, let's call things out.
Mama Kathy, say that again. Repeat it.
That a child's safety is more important than anybody's reputation.
I agree.
Call them out. Speak about it. Make sure you make loud noise, because a child today is an adult tomorrow. And if you break them today, they'll remain broken and break others. So let's watch out. And then let's also develop immigration policy system in the home that safeguards the life of every child.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Audrey, you have something to say? I still have a minute.
Yes, I think what I would want to tell my listeners is when you see abuse, call it out. Call them out. Hold abusers accountable. And don't turn a blind eye to it. Save a child's life today.
Great.
And yes, we need to end this. Yeah.
And let me say a very big thank you on this note to Phoebe for connecting us with this
Yeah.
project. Phoebe Besemete. Phoebe is our sweetheart on Home Affairs. Thank you, Phoebe. I'm sure you're doing the listening. And to assure you that we're fully on board this campaign, Audrey shared the
you.
plans with us, the aspects we can broadcast,
Sure. Okay.
when you have to do your outreaches. However, we will be able to support. We will. This has to do with the family, and Home Affairs
Yeah.
was set up for family issues. So we are 100% on board, and we will support this
Thank you.
and ensure that we are all seeing the change we want to see in our society, and especially so to safeguard the future of our children. They don't deserve any of these. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Mama Kathy, and thank you, Dr. Dona, for joining us on Home Affairs this morning. Mirabel Johnson, producer one. Chai. Thank you, my girl, Daniela, and everybody else who supported us. Thank you. God bless you. We're out.
you
See
too.
you.